Hey guys, what is going on? You rounder here, Eric, also known as Eric, occasionally in the real world, most often. And I wanted to bring you guys another four tabling 25 no limit video. And I want to work on something that I don't know if I've ever really talked about. I want to work on having a little bit more energy and having a little bit more fun while I play. I know that sounds like very counterintuitive to what I normally talk about. I always usually try to say like, oh, stay, real level headed and don't let the ups and downs affect how you play. Don't get super excited or super sad or frustrated. You want to kind of try to keep your emotions in balance. I'm not really, I don't think I'm talking about keeping my emotions in balance. I'm just talking, I guess fun is maybe an emotion, but just trying to be a little bit more energetic and just enjoy the game more, right? Like I'm not saying like get like super like stoked about like sucking out on someone and get like super pissed off if you get sucked out on. I'm just saying try to enjoy the game more. That's basically it. So I like kind of actually just squeezing big here and going to like $4. And that's the basis. I'm trying to think through my plays a little bit better. I'm trying to, I'm trying to just think through my plays. I'm trying to enjoy the game a bit more. And we're going to do maybe like a quick 30-minute video. It's actually kind of late. It's a little bit later than I normally stay up. I'm going to go ahead and check. I don't mind betting here on the flop. I can bet relatively small, get a pretty honest response on monotone boards on table 2 here with 6-7. But this guy often just has like a weak ace or something. He's got $8.50, so we just kind of expect him to have something weak. I also bet here on this queen board. The 8 improves other hands, right? A pair of 10s with the spade is fine. The 8 improves some of his draws, like 10 jack. It also turns another flush draw, which we don't have. And so it is a pretty standard check fold on table 3. One thing I will update you guys on. So I've been grinding 25 NL. You guys know I was playing some 100 no limit, like one table, and just kind of running, I don't know, either running bad or playing bad. It doesn't really matter too much. The playing bad would matter, obviously. I think it was mostly just variance. And so I'm waiting for some money from America's Card Room, and once I get that, I'll put that back on Bovada most likely. Until then, I'm just going to grind some 25 NL. Tell you what, I'm really good at 25 NL. Like I'm saying that sort of joking, like, right, that should sort of be implied. I'm not like trying to brag or boast, but it's just one of those sort of it's just objectively true, I think, that as far as the 25 no limit player pool, if you look at just the overall statistics of the 25 NL player pool on Bovada, they're pretty fishy, and that's okay. It's like casual players, and so that's fine. And it's not like you can really make, like a salary in the US playing 25 NL on Bovada. So it makes sense that it's just a casual crowd. But it's fun, right? Like I'm having a little bit of fun seeing seeing some of the plays that I see. And it's just sort of, it's interesting from the perspective as somebody who tries to sort of teach you guys how to beat these stakes. Like, right? Like my YouTube videos, my YouTube channel is sort of targeted at helping people beat, 25 no limit and below. Like once you get up to 50 no limit, 100 no limit, definitely I think my channel can help people, and I think as I get better, my channel will help people more. That king 9 we could have raised, but that guy's short. But absolutely, I think that most people could figure out how to beat like 10 no limit, like 25 no limit and below, pretty much just from watching my YouTube videos, if they like really pay attention and try to learn what I'm talking about. Especially like the ones that I've done in the last, 6 months. So anyway, trying to have a little bit of fun, and let's see what these guys are doing. It's Friday night, right? So I thought a Friday night video would be fun. because you will see some pretty interesting stuff. I don't have the hand pulled up, but I did have somebody call like an all-in shove on the turn. Now, I did this in my last video, but it was 3 ways, and I had something else. I had like a straight draw and a flush draw, and it was 3-handed. But I like overshoved a turn on somebody, and they called me with like just a naked flush draw, and I had a set. So just stuff like that, where it's just, I mean, it was really clearly a fold, and the guy called it off. I think it was on maybe this table. See if I can pull it up. No, it's further back. Again, if you guys are irritated by the layout here, how the tables overlap, let me know. Again, I'll probably put a little annotation in the video. This right here is called Bovada Card Catcher. It catches all the hands as they go, puts them into your poker tracker, and displays statistics on your HUD for you. So if that is something you guys would like to try out, don't quote me on it. I believe they have a free trial. I believe they do. Yeah, you can get a free trial just to make sure you understand how it works. This guy's pretty deep. 6-8 suited is pretty good on table 3. So there's a link in the description of the video if you want to check that out. Just click on the Ace Poker Solutions link. This is sort of like a weird spot. I actually don't mind raising here sometimes. Like a set of like 8s is in this guy's range. Obviously, there's a lot of draws and stuff in his range. We can have draws in our range. But what I like to do sometimes is just go ahead and make a raise here. We block like a set of 8s. We block Jack 8. We block some of his hands. And when he calls, he doesn't have too many bluffs when he calls. He's mostly going to have like jacks. And if we thought that this guy was really good, we could probably barrel him off of it and maybe barrel like some spades here and get him to fold. But when he calls, he likely has, there's a fair chance that he's either on spades or on a jack. And those just aren't hands that we often get to fold. Now, here's a spot where I actually kind of like making like $1.75 bet, and that prevents us from having to make a weird hero call, and he actually folds to it, which is pretty bizarre. We'll have to look that up after. But the reason I sometimes will make that bet, again, it's exploitable if we don't do it in a balanced way, but it's definitely kind of fun, right? Like making like a weird little out of position turn bet. I'm gonna go ahead and bet pot. If there's a brick on the turn, I might actually overbet the pot, even though this guy's got $12. And man, I have found people are more than willing to call over. Oof, there it is. There's the brick of all bricks. So we'll bet, I don't know, like $2.75, like $3. Yeah, $2.75 looks good here. And we get the fold. So again, when we get this nice little brick on the turn, and a kind of draw-heavy board where our opponent doesn't raise, it sort of caps his range most of the time. Most people are going to raise if they've got a set or 2 pair. A lot of their big draws might also raise in spots like that. So when we get that brick on the turn, we can go ahead and overbet pretty safely. And we just need to make sure we're also doing it with our value hands, because I'm telling you, I made a 150% pot bet on the river yesterday, and yeah, I got looked up by 3rd pair. So I'm telling you, like, balance those out. Like, you can definitely bluff more often, right? Like, mathematically, you should be bluffing more often when you're overbetting, but you got to make sure that your little nut value hands are in there as well sometimes. I pretty much always fold to those like massive overbets because I don't know. I think usually people are doing it for value, and so I'm not really playing sheriff here. This guy's got 11.22, so we could either we could min raise. Let's try that. We'll just min raise so that we can kind of try to get the button out. It didn't. Well, what is that? Yeah, that's the button. Small blind. That's fine, I guess. Min raise to try to get the small blind out, but it didn't work. And then, yeah, we don't need to bet here. Now we can start betting. Ace-9 suited. This guy's like all in. We can just fold. And we do have 2 pair, so let's just go ahead and bet pot on the turn on table 3. This guy seems like a pretty standard tag. He's sitting here with 3 buy-ins, and over 22 hands, he's already playing 23-18, which is like, it's pretty hard to normalize to that quickly, honestly. And so we got a limp, and I put in a raise, so 3-handed. I think we can get away with like a 70-cent. Oop. Right, like we can raise real small here. That's less than half pot. I think even smaller, like 50 cents might actually work. This guy can definitely have aces, but again, 3-handed, you can just bet a lot smaller because your bet is representing a lot more strength because you're betting into 2 people. Even bad players, and I don't want to like generalize everybody on Bovada as bad, but you know, weaker players that are playing smaller stakes in general on a Friday night might. They still know that, oh, there's 3 people in the pot, so like I gotta beat 2 people if I'm gonna stay in this thing. We'll call here. We can turn some flush draws. We can turn 2 pair. We can turn trips, and he's giving us, you know, it was 25 cents. I guess it was only a 50-cent pot, but that's okay. We've got a pair. We can check down. Hopefully he has like king high and we win. He has an ace. Wow, he checked back there. So yeah, you can use in multi-way pots, you can bet a lot smaller. In that spot, we're obviously the raiser, so our range is uncapped. Their ranges are relatively capped. This guy's limping range is definitely capped. Well, I shouldn't say it's definitely capped. I'm just going to fold here and move on to the next hand. I know 4-7 suited could probably show a profit, but this guy's not folding that much, and I don't really want to play out of position with 5-7 suited. I'd rather just fold and play my button. Again, that's what I've been sort of talking about. This guy's only got $7.25, so we'll just fold. This table is relatively weak, so we can open king-8 suited. It's something I've been talking about, is just passing up on these sort of thin marginal opportunities to, you know, either like A, enjoy the game a little bit more, or B, yeah, again, this is sort of a standard player looking person. I don't know. I don't mind betting half pot here because we've got an overcard. So if he does call and we bink a king on the turn, then it's likely that, you know, it's hard for him to put us on that. Maybe I might need to rethink that exact idea. I also don't mind checking because if a king comes on the turn, we check into 2 pair, and he might, you know, check back like king queen and, you know, hit top pair, good kicker. This guy's got a full stack, so we'll isolate him with 8-7 suited on table 3. Now he bets 250, and we have third pair, and there's a straight and a flush draw that we don't have. So we are going to go ahead and fold. This, again, could be slightly exploitable, like, right, just like betting the flop and then check folding a pair on the river when we do have, you know, I mean, we don't have any clean outs, but we're out of position. This player looks relatively standard, so it's, you know, it would be close, right? In like a optimal setting, it would be close how to play that. The bet on the flop is definitely questionable. Like, optimally, we probably want to maybe check there. And I actually just think in general, I do like checking more. Again, betting is okay because we can like hit 2 pair, we can hit another 8, and then it's a little bit disguised because we shouldn't be really betting an 8. So like I would say that maybe in that spot we bet like realistically like maybe 20% of the time or less, 25% of the time we bet our 8, and the rest of the time we check it. Something like that seems reasonable. Doing it more than that is probably a little bit on the exploitative side without really having a reason to exploit this player. Heads up. And that is my final answer for that hand. Sorry about all the clicking around. I just want to make sure I'm not sitting out on hands. If it's giving anyone epilepsy, let me know, and I will. I'll try to. If you guys really want, I can do the next one with the tables tiled. But I move my mouse around a lot, especially when I'm talking and playing and thinking. Here we've got a 3-handed pot with king high. We do have backdoor diamonds. And, you know, 3-handed, like this is a very medium strength hand. Like top pair, good kicker, medium kicker, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, same sort of thing I did last time. I can bet like 75 cents here, just kind of bet small. And, we want to be careful because, this is a decent hand. I would probably make the same bet size with like ace king. I would probably make the same bet size even, maybe like with my flush draws, I would bet a little bit bigger. With my sets and, stuff, I would bet bigger. But like with my medium hands or like medium strength draws, like, I don't know, 7-8, I might bet like a little bit smaller. So it depends. I mean, most of my, I guess my air bluffs I would bet smaller. So if I'm betting like smaller, I either have like a medium strength hand or like complete air. And if I'm betting like bigger, I either have like a big hand or like a big draw. So I mean, I guess that makes sense. So here, like 7, 8, 9, like, oh shit, sorry. Didn't mean to swear, but I didn't quite I didn't quite see this guy's stack size, and now I'm in a really dumb looking spot. A simple jam there would have been fantastic. And now I will be folding 9 high. I guess I can't even, because the aces, queen, set. I guess my 9 plays, right? I guess we'll look it up. Maybe he has like 4, 5. Oh, he has the flush. Brutal. Whoops. It's all right. There are worse mistakes one can make. So yeah, here I'll definitely check back because like if we bet, I mean, we'd have to, like a 9 doesn't really, if we hit a 9 on the turn, that's not real great. This guy's leading. Well, no, we checked. I guess we'll call a second pair. And king 10 will fold. Don't know anything about this player, but, we do have second pair. And it looks like a limp pot. So after showing some weakness by checking, by just... by checking pre-flop, checking on the flop, I'm not quite ready to fold my 4 yet. And he checks, indicating to me that he is either 1, giving up, or 2, has like a really weak hand, or like a pair that's like 4s, like 5s through kings. Okay, so he had a weak hand and he was giving up, and then, banked the 9 on the river. So that's like a reason that, you want to possibly, it's a good example of why it's important to get people to fold their equity. Any 2 cards have a lot of equity against a pair of 4s. And so definitely like arguments could be made for making raises at some point in the hand to get stuff like that to fold, but as played, I think it's okay. I don't think raising there is some sort of great play with 4-7, but I also wouldn't hate it, if that makes any sense. So here, same thing. We're heads up. It's a pretty like connected board. We have kind of a medium strength hand, but we actually have some pretty good redraws. So medium strength hand here. We're just gonna bet half pot. We're not betting the strength of our hand. I don't want people to get the impression that we're betting the strength of our hand, but we are betting the range of our, we're betting the strength of the range that we're betting, right? So this range is betting because it's, medium strength range, and we want to force our opponent to call wider with that medium part of our range, whereas a stronger range with, balanced out by bluffs would bet larger. So yes, our strong hands are stronger when we bet bigger, but we balance that out with bluffs. Those bluffs are usually low equity, but robust. So even a hand like pocket, on that board, like an under pair that's like a pocket pair or something would bet, like a pair of 7s or a pair of 6s even might bet here, 6s with a club or something, I might bet there because it is pretty low equity, but again, the equity is relatively robust. If we have 6s and we, turn a 6 or we turn another draw, or a 7, which gives us like a 4 straight or something, then we're gonna barrel again and we're gonna barrel bigger. So with a hand like that, again, we also want a lot of fold equity, so we'll probably bet bigger with like a pair of 6s, and try to force out some of our opponent's equity. And we'll also bet big with some of our like big hands, like sets, top 2, things like that, as well as our big draws, some of our big draws, and then like some big draws we might bet a like half pot size on the flop, and then start polarizing our range more on the turn, as that becomes very clearly either value or a bluff. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, ask in the comments. 9 queen. If this was suited, we could raise, but 9 queen offsuit, it's pretty simple fold. And I haven't even really been paying attention too much to, like, I know I've been paying attention to the individual hands, but like we're up to $40 on this table, almost 40 on this one. Our original buy-in on the other two, like up $4 here. So I'm not sure, how much rebuying we've done or anything. I'm just really focusing on, our play, our opponent's play. And you just look at the overall numbers on the table. 34 VPIP, 34 VPIP, 30 VPIP, and 27 VPIP. I play, let me look. Let me see what I play. View stats. By session. I can't find it by position. Where's my VPIP? Basic. Hold on now. Okay, well, I can't find my VPIP anymore. I'll get it. Give me just a second. Statistics? And grand reports. Results. It's gotta be in here somewhere. I feel like it was very obvious, like right there in the like old poker trackers. I have like 1-1 saw flop. Does that do anyone any good? All right, so we have a gut shot here. This guy bets 25 cents. We have a gut shot. Let's just go ahead and make it like $1. All right, like can't be that bad. So I have statistics. So VPIP, my overall is 25. So I pretty much play 10% less hands than about the same number as this table. Honestly, this table is not that great, but we do have what looks like could be amounting to a fish to our right. So yeah, I play 10% less hand. Like I voluntarily put money in 10% less of the time. So that's significant, right? Like that is not insignificant. Why do I have like Jack 4 offsuit? When have I No. Oh, let me take it shouldn't be voluntarily put money into the pot. Like these are hands where I'm on the big blind. No, small blind. Big blind. One of those I'm in the big blind. So that shouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. It shouldn't do that. Again, like a lot of players would kind of like raise this to isolate and punish, but we're not going to punish that well here with 5-8 suited. And these players are likely to call. This guy's only got $5. So it's a good opportunity to fold. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it looks like my VPIP is around 25. That's what I'm seeing. Player summary, hands, hero. pre-flop. VPIP. Yeah, 25. I've got 2 heroes in my database for some reason. One of them is 21.9, the other is 25.1. So yeah, in that ballpark. And again, sorry, I didn't mean to digress for that long on that topic, but again, that's about 10% less than the population here at 25 NL. And honestly, it might take I might not get even close to like the population until like 100 or 200 NL. Even at 100 NL, I believe that there's often guys playing 30%. And, you know, occasionally you'll find players playing more. So yeah, that's the I would say that's the easiest way to be profitable at these levels, is to play less hands. And then you'll pretty much, on average, have better hands post-flop. Jack 7, middle position again, 36% VPIP. We can open a little bit wider than what we normally would, and I think safely be profitable still. We do get 3-bet by this guy with $4, and then this guy with 13. This is something I maybe should have looked at before raising, to see that this guy was short and this guy is short. I mean, it's so unlikely that that guy raises that. I mean, and this guy doesn't raise big enough, right? $2 is not anywhere near large enough of a raise. So we're going to just check, and then yeah, obviously we're going to get in for, if this guy shoves, like, we'll just call. I mean, it is what it is. He probably has aces. I mean, he's raised, out of 25 hands, he's raised 4 times. So definitely an opportunity for an exploitable fold, but we're not going to make it because we don't want to. And we actually turn a nice little card, and he ends up with ace queen. So yeah, that would have been an exploitable fold, but one I'm not willing to make. So it worked out pretty well for us. We'll pot this up, isolate this 36-9. We don't have his limp fold number yet, so we will get that, you know, we'll start to establish that here. But this guy is, you know, obviously a little fishy, 36-9. It's very unlikely that his stats, you know, merge into something reasonable ever. And we'll raise on table 4. Now, this is an interesting spot. We've got backdoor flush draw plus a pair plus like some sort of weird, you know, backdoor straight draw. And we'll check here. But yeah, I don't like raising here, and we have position, so I think that we can just sort of call, and this isn't really all that connected to board. That 7 is fine. It doesn't really do anything. He shouldn't, you know, very unlikely that he's betting a 7 here, right? Like, that would not be correct, I don't think. And yeah, it doesn't, I mean, he's most likely holding here is some sort of king or bluffs. So he checks. So even if he has like 10 jack here, we'll chop, so that's good. He has 10 queen, so we still chop. Yeah, 10 jack, 10 queen chops. So that's nice. And 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10. We don't really have much here. Queen 9 offsuit against this guy with 474, and this guy that's never raised. I guess we can just limp and see a flop, since this guy's, you know, never raised in 46 hands. It's pretty safe to say that we'll see a flop for 15 cents on table 1. Jack 8. Again, like, this is so weird. We'll just go ahead and just min raise this. Maybe try to fold out the small blind and get heads up with this player that is actually not like as fishy as you would expect from somebody with his stack size. And we actually hit 2 pair. So that's nice. You know, this 9-7 guy is... I guess all he had to do was check. So, you know, 9-10 obviously has us. There's sets that have us. But the majority, I would say, of people's hands don't. And I think we can go ahead and just raise here, because this guy is, like, relatively fishy. And we don't want to leave everybody else in this hand. It's, like, super wet. We have top 2. And There's like one hand in the deck. Now there's a whole bunch of hands that beat us. That 9 is, I would say the 10 would be, no, the 9 is probably worse than the 10, right? Because like 10 Jack would have been a nice hand that like we beat. And yeah, now it's just sort of a nightmare situation. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to do. This is a good spot. I guess we can bet small, and if he jams on us, we just fold. Yeah, he calls, and now we can't fold, right? Like now, I don't. Well, I mean, I guess it's the same. I guess it's the same based on the stack sizes. So what do we? I mean, we check back here, or we force him to only call with better. I guess the only hand that like maybe calls here is like Ace Jack. But he limped, so it's just unlikely, right? Like, oh, he had the 3 of spades, so maybe we should have just jammed the turn. I didn't expect him to be. I wasn't even really thinking about flush draws. Not that I shouldn't have been. For whatever reason, I wasn't. Sorry, maybe I was too busy clicking buttons. But, all right, guys. Well, that's a pretty good little hand to end on. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of... I mean, I'm not... This is a weird check back, but I guess it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I may be just sort of running well, but I'll tell you what, I've been having fun playing 25 NL, just sort of not in the sense that I'm like messing around, but just enjoying playing solid poker, seeing what other people are doing, and trying to find spots where we can, like, again, like the reason I've been doing so much studying is so that I can understand how to better take advantage of, you know, players that are weaker, right? Like if I know exactly, you know, if I my goal is to sort of learn what optimal poker looks like. And I'm starting to learn what optimal poker looks like, what kind of bet sizes I want to use in which spots. Then I can really start to take advantage of players who aren't going to either they are not going to recognize those spots, or they're not going to react well to those spots, right? Like there's you know, multiple ideas. I'm going to bet small here. Like, again, this is that medium strength hand. We actually have a redraw to the flush, and I want to be able to like bet small there with my bluffs. And because I'm going to have a lot of like medium strength hands, I want to bluff very, you know, small to get a good price, because people are obviously going to fold. So yeah, again, we can bet with our medium strength hands kind of small, and we just need to make sure that we're betting with our bluffs small in that spot. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully my energy level was good, and maybe you gleaned a little bit of insight on some spots where you can take advantage of the play that you see at these stakes. Yeah, I've been, you know, playing, like really getting back on the, not the grind. I wouldn't say I'm grinding. I'm playing maybe an hour or two a day for the last few days. And it's been, you know, just my results have been really good. And I think the play has been straightforward and pretty easy to navigate. Like the play has, you know, the play is just relatively easy to navigate. And that's kind of fun. That's, it isn't nearly as stressful as even for me playing like 100 no limit, and even sometimes 50 no limit can be. So we'll just check back here, and you know, it's again, you know, we don't have players putting pressure on us on the rivers that normally maybe would or could, and you know, that was Jack 6 offsuit, right? So like Jack 6 offsuit has a tough time getting to post flop with me, right? Like unless I'm in the big blind, I'm not getting to post flop with Jack 6 offsuit. So there's just a lot of opportunity, a lot of mistakes being made, and therefore, you know, because of all those things, a fair amount of money to be made. So we don't know much about this opponent, relatively loose. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go ahead and 3-bet this up to $3. We are out of position, so I'm just always going to make it a little bit bigger when we're out of position. I expect to get a ton of folds, but that's fine. We're still going to raise our kings. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully there was enough action, and I will see you guys next time. This is U-Rounder, and until then, you guys keep on grinding.